Back with another video. This video is going to be looking at how I might set up the England team in their World Cup qualifying matches. And for all my videos now, I'm making PowerPoints to outline key concepts and to go in a little more detail and present the information in a different way. You can get these PowerPoints by becoming a member. All the PowerPoints will be listed in the member group chat with a link to the Google Doc, so you can check that out, and the member link will be in the group chat as well. So be sure to check that out, but let's get right into it. So we're going to start in their initial build-up third. I have Nick Pope in goal. I went with him just to reward his season with Burnley, as Burnley's not one of the top clubs, but he's still maintained a consistent level of performance. Stones and Maguire, the center-back pair, with Chilwell on the left and Kyle Walker on the right. Kyle Walker I placed here because of his ability in transition, and his defensive attributes would really complement the rest of the team well. Chilwell, self-explanatory, primarily because of his qualities on the ball and his left foot. Lingard and Mount as the box-to-box midfielders because of their versatility and their qualities to then maneuver in tight spaces, with Declan Rice just playing deeper because of his range of passing and his ability to drop into the first line of build-up to vacate space and then use a deep-lying playmaking role to the team's advantage. Sterling, Kane, and Foden up top. Sterling and Foden out wide so they can cut in onto their strong foot, and by playing with right and left-footed players on opposite sides, this gives players like Mount and Lingard the ability to use positional interchanges to come into wide areas. And then the final piece, Harry Kane, complements Foden and Sterling well because of their qualities as players and Kane's tendency to drop deeper as almost a false nine to attract defenders, which would open up space for Foden and Sterling to then make inverted runs to take advantage of the space in behind. Also key for the first phase of build-up, having a consistent threat in behind the opposing team's back line. So looking at the midfield third now, we have Kyle Walker moving into the half space as an inverted fullback, and he's not playing this role like his Manchester City counterpart Cancelo would. Kyle Walker's in this position more to attract pressure from the opposing team through their midfielders, as we see here. To attract pressure, increase the space between the lines for players like Mount, Kane, and Lingard, and he's there for a more solid rest defense, circulation, and preparation for transition, and having a stronger defensive structure. So next we have Mount, Kane, Lingard, three players playing between the lines. So we have occupation of each central corridor in the advanced areas. And what this will do, it'll free up movement from these players, and it'll make the ability of these players to move into wider areas to then take advantage of the low density wide areas and receive passes if the team becomes over compact, as well as the wingers playing high and wide, so forcing the defense to still overstretch to both widths of the field and acting as two different forces on the defense and their structure, pulling them wide, and the three players between the line narrowing. Importantly, Kane playing deeper than a typical number 9 would, especially for England, trying to force a defender to jump, because if a defender were to jump, we can see what it would do to the space really quickly. The space would then be in behind, and it cause a break in the defense, allowing for Mason Mount to then make an inverted run, or Phil Foden, and then Mount to occupy the wide area. And it's really important that the qualities of players like Mason Mount and Phil Foden, they can play in each other's role, because with the game and especially with players like Chilwell maybe joining into the wide area, creating double width. It could potentially lead to some complex rotations that are really hard to defend, but only work if the players all understand their roles and have the qualities to flourish in these roles as well. So now finally, attacking against the low block, we have a diamond build-up shape, which puts players John Stones, Ben Chilwell, each in the half space. Chilwell mainly because of his left foot. He could even flourish in the wide area and have an asymmetric back four, so we can see that really quick. But the theory behind the structure is we'd have 4 players, and players like Stones and Chilwell would then have direct access to cut off the outlets of the 2 forwards, and while still being covered by Harry Maguire. But if we were to change the shape a little bit, we can see if Ben Chilwell would be better suited to occupy double width with Sterling to free up some movement. We could have Harry Maguire through the half space, John Stones in the center, and Kyle Walker more narrow. This would probably put Foden in the wider area, and then someone like Kane between the lines if we were occupying the defense with 3 players. And we might even put Kane a little into the half space or a little bit more narrow, creating asymmetry within the team, putting different stresses on the defense. And what this would do, it was in reaction to the overload on this side comparatively to this side. So with this side, we have a 3-man wide structure with a double width, freeing up more movement. So if the ball were to be progressed through here, Kane would be on the weak side, then able to make moves in the blind side of the defenders and giving him positional superiority to score more goals. So that's just a few things I wanted to talk about, a few ideas we can have when we're watching the England side. Be interesting to see where they go from here, and I'm super excited to see many of the other teams as well. So please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.